Hi everyone, my name is Nur Unira, and for today's voice presentation, I would like to talk about emotion and user experience. So guys, what is it? What do you understand about emotion and user experience? Well, as a normal human being, we all have emotions, and I can say that generally much of what we do now in our daily life is driven by our emotions. So if you don't agree with me, I guess you can raise up your hands. So according to research, emotion is a fundamental, a very basic component of being a human. We are very much more different from robot or maybe alien or even animal. We have our own emotions. And majority of the psychology stated that it is very undeniable or it is very inconceivable to act or think without engaging at least a little unconsciously of our emotions. So before I talk about more about emotion and user experience in the field of human computer interactions, we should know, or maybe we should briefly understand, what is it mean by emotions and what does it mean by user experience. First of all, let me swipe into a full presenter. There we go. So let's start. What does it mean by emotion? So emotions. Sorry. Emotion is a psychological reaction to event relevant to the need or goals of a concern of an individual. Well, we can also say that emotion is comprised of psychological, effective behavioral of a cognitive component in our brain. In the perspective of human-computer interaction, emotion is very related, very close related to user experience. So user experience, what is it, right? I'll go into that deeper. Let's talk more about emotion. So emotions, based in the research also stated that when a human is happy, in a very good mood, they became much more creative in solving problems. This statement is stated or supported by this fellow named Di Martino in his research in the year of 2006. He is someone that study about human brain. He stated that when a human in a state of making decision or buying something or deciding something, a certain part of the brain function effectively or actively when a human in a condition to making a decision. So if emotions really connected to user experience, what is it user experience? So user experience is focused on having a deep understanding of users, what they need, what they want, what they think is precious, so what they value, their abilities and also their limitations. So basically this is what we want to know about emotions and user experience. Next section I will talk about more on studies or research that has connection with emotions, also user experience. Yeah, we supposed to know more about it. This is very extra knowledge. Next, we will start with emotion in human-computer interaction in the area of e-learning. So as you can see there's two fellow named Kaiser R and Ortel K. They're both from Britain, I guess. In their research in the year of 2006, they stated that in their research, they say despite the ongoing development in the technology of the past decade, the computer are still considered as machine. They still cannot imitate 100% of human being. And even though the current technology with the latest artificial intelligence concept still cannot imitate the human in total, however, many studies justify that machine and technology are important in order to enhance the human life, and it is one of the most crucial components for HCI. So, this both human being, they came up with a study to find a connection between emotion in HCI in the area of e-learning. So they stated that the traditional e-learning system, whereby we stay down in front of the computer, open a web-based learning system, whereby the human expert tutors also concentrate on the emotion component of learning. It means that they state that it used to be in traditional way, whereby when we want to study, there will be a tutor right in front of us, whereby the tutor will focus more on our emotion, how we accept the knowledge, how we interpret the knowledge, compared to nowadays kind of e-learning, whereby the tutor task more focus on the machine or AI itself. So when we focus on the tutor task based on AI or the system itself, the user tend to feel bored or lost interest in learning through online, because they cannot focus more than it's supposed to. They're supposed to focus more on the allocation time. For example, the e-learning system need the user to focus or to give the full attention for 40 minutes. But this normal human being, we cannot even focus right in front of our laptop more than 50 minutes, because we tend to feel bored, tired, and we cannot even deliver 100% of our focus. Therefore, this Kaiser and Otto, they came up with this research to overcome or to solve the issue of boredom or angriness, or issue regarding the decrease of cognitive effort in learning through web-based, or we can say e-learning. So these two fella trying to solve the issue by using a sensor system. So the sensor system is called emotion recognition sensor system. So this diagram, where with the glove, with the machine there, so it used to detect emotions, emotion of anyone who wear the glove. So this device focus on the learning target only, whereas the human expert tutors also concentrate on the emotional component of the learning. What does it mean is this machine concentrate on learning the emotion of the user who wear the machine. So the EREC is a set of machine that is used to detect the emotion of the user and analyze the psychological data to deduce the emotional state. So when this person wear the glove will analyze the data to interpret, to come out with the output of what is the real emotion of the user. So I can say that in other words, the EREC is used for emotion detection. And emotion detection, yes. The sensors is located in the glove, and the glove will send the data to the tiny machine held by the right hand of the user, and they will come out with the real state of emotion of the user. So basically, as the conclusion, we can say that the conclusion for this research, both of the researcher, they say that the emotion and the user experience is totally depending on each other. This device, called EREC, is on the approach to assist to overcome the negative emotions in the area of e-learning, the boredom, the angriness when the website crashes, and so on. So by this, positive experience in online education can be enhanced or increased for the future work. And further study, they say that the concept of this EREC can be applied in other fields, maybe medical or maybe business, in order to create a more effective application and better user experience. So that is one section. We can move on to the next studies that is related to emotions and also user experience. The second studies is about usability, aesthetic, and emotion in HCI. In 2007, there are two researchers named Manfred Turing and Sachin Melke. They're both from Britain, came out with a study called Usability, Aesthetic, and Emotion in HCI. They actually wondering or trying to explain why people prefer some system over other system. They want to find out whether is there any factors that actually affect the decision making. So they came up with a hypothesis saying that there are two qualities or two attributes that affect the decision making, which is the aesthetic qualities, whereby it means that whereby the product is easy to use, or it is well defined, is it well presented, or maybe the other attribute is emotional experience. So based on this problem statement, both of the researchers trying to conduct three experiment to show and trying to prove this hypothesis. So with the collaboration of these both researchers, they came up with three experiments to test whether both of the attribute, which is aesthetic qualities and emotional experience, gave a very huge impact in the field of human-computer interaction. So as a result, these both researchers came out with a model called CUE model. The CUE model is meant by the component of user experience model. So what is it about? So user experience is gained in the course of interacting with the technical device. We can say that we gain user experience by interacting with device, with any machines. So usually this interaction aims at solving a particular task, take place in a certain context and extend over a limited period of time. We can see that based on this diagram, the researchers stated that there are two qualities that give highly impact to the emotions of a user, which is instrumental qualities, which is mean the experience on how easy to use the system or how easy to use a device. The other one is non-instrumental qualities, which is the look and feel of the system. Both of these qualities highly impact the user emotions. The perception of this both type of quality is likely to influence the third component of a user experience, which is the emotions, like I said just now. For example, the emotions that accompany the interaction process. If I can give an instance, a sluggish system response may affect perceived effectiveness and will lead to uh, frustrated feelings in user, and therefore it will cause a very bad user experience. And according to both of these researchers, the CUE model characterize emotion as episode of subjective feelings accompanied by specific psychological reactions and expressive behavior. So as a conclusion for their researchers, all three components of user experience should impact on the overall appraisal of the system and thus influence the user future decisions and behavior. These three components, which are the usability, the aesthetic, and emotions component, is closely related, or I can say one of three major factors that affect user experience. For example, if a system is not very well defined, not very well arranged, and it also have very bad usability, which means the users found it very difficult to use, and therefore the user will feel very frustrated and bored to use the system. And because of these three components, very bad usability, very bad aesthetic value, and very and cause such frustrated feeling in user, it will cause this system to receive a very bad feedback because the user undergo a very bad user experience. This is what mean by this all three component of user experience should impact on the overall acceptance of a system. Okay, that is it for two research and studies related for my topic, and for my conclusion I can say that perception of a user experience are often affected by emotions. Whether a user is happy or angry or even sad will produce a different kind of user experience when using any kind of device or system. If a negative feelings is accompany the user by while using the system, will definitely produce a bad user experience. And yes, uh, oppositely, if a user is happy by using a system, it will produce a good feedback or good user experience. And I guess that's all from me, folks. So I hope you will gain a little bit knowledge or input by listening to this sharing session. And I hope I'm gonna share more with you on the next video. And that's all from me today. Thank you.